And this one features Paul Cecchini. Cecchini will be dressed in white. There he is on your right against Steve Myers from Jacksonville, Florida. Cecchini, 22 years old, Canadian national champion, and a pretty good guy, too. He is not going to waste too much time, but Myers giving him more than a handful right now. Paul Cecchini, very strong, very strong. Psychs himself up and is almost in a catatonic state when he goes into these competitions. Cecchini says he wants to win this championship this year, and it looks like he is close to moving into the finals. And they are breaking them apart. Yes, and apparently Cecchini has pinned Steve Myers, and Cecchini is the winner of the featherweight semifinal bout. Frank Lacouske is in white on your left. He's going against Bill Arnold, both from Ohio. And Lacouske not wasting too much time, and Lacouske will move into the final against Paul Cecchini. And there you have a pretty good matchup right from the start. We are now moving to the lightweight division. Al Fischer is in the orange on your left, and he's going against Jim Fitzsimmons in the white. Al Fischer is a former champion from San Diego, and he is pretty strong. Fischer, of course, like Cecchini and like some of the other champions, just psychs himself up and does a pretty good job of, I think, intimidating his opponent. Al Fischer is trying to get his opponent, Jim Fitzsimmons, down, and Fischer has done it. Al Fischer will now move into the final as well. Al Fischer of San Diego, California, 29 years old.
No pressure.
There's another champion on the right as we move to another lightweight division. This is Dave Patton. Patton, of course, moving up from the featherweight. He goes against Gary Rao. Rao on the left from Texas has a 9-pound advantage over Dave Patton. But Patton's big forte is the fact that he is strong and he has technique, and he can take you down in a big hurry. Patton on the left, Rao on the right, and Patton trying to get him over, trying to roll it over the top. Rao is going to find himself in against a pretty good guy. This is the first time that Patton has competed in this class, and he is championship material, no doubt about that. Dave Patton of Virginia, 5 feet 10 inches, 160 pounds, trying to pick up the semifinal win and move into the final. Patton has his hands filled with Gary Ray from Texas, and Patton wins it. Patton moves into the next round. This bout is a middleweight championship semifinal. Bill Balou against this man, Johnny Walker. I have yet to see anybody defeat Johnny Walker. That's how good he is. Has a very impassive look in his face, but he means business.
Ready?
Balou is on the right.
Go!
And there's Johnny Walker, wasting no time at all. Johnny Walker doing the job. Walker will also move into the final round. Johnny Walker, who's been a perennial champion here. Donald Barenfine, a middleweight winner against Steve Cox. Cox is in the beige. There he is, looking at our camera. This man is very, very strong, too, has great championship technique. Donald Barenfine and Steve Cox. Referee trying to get them hooked up properly.
Don't move!
Barenfine could be a dark horse in this. He's a 22-year-old computer technician. And that is Cox trying to get him down. Cox, close, but Barenfine hanging in there. Steve Cox, very strong, as you can see, with his biceps bulging. But he's got more than his hands filled with Donald Barenfine of Baltimore. This one was not expected to be as tough for Steve Cox. But I guess when you get to the semifinal position, all these opponents have something going for them. It's Cox, the winner. So Steve Cox will move into the final round, and we'll have some of the women competitors coming up in the semifinals in just a moment from Wayne State Fair in Detroit. It's against Carolyn Fischer of San Diego. She's in a real tough match. She is. Christine Jaworski would like nothing better than to repeat her championship form of last year in New Orleans. There she is, but she's got more than her hands full right now. Carolyn Fischer still hanging on. Christine trying to come over the top, putting a little pressure on, but Carolyn Fischer still hanging in there. Christine Jaworski, just 22 years of age, and she wins it. So she moves into the final. She is another step closer to repeating as the lightweight champion. Christine Jaworski of Sudbury, the Canadian champion.
Don't move. Don't come out.
Marsha Monk is on your right.
Don't
And
move.
Sherry Fiban is on the left. Fiban from Michigan. Monk from Nebraska. Fiban is a 23-year-old entertainer. The lightweight winner will go against Christine Jaworski, and it looks as if Fiban has it. She has. It is Sherry Fiban in white getting the win. She moves into the final against Christine Jaworski. That could be a real good one. You're watching Leanne Dufreme, an 18-year-old student from Quebec, and she is going against Carolyn Leibel of Houston, Texas, the winner of the Open last year. And that is Leibel on the left. Dufreme, a relative newcomer. She's a Canadian champion, 18 years old, very strong, good technique. Very nice lady to talk to. 5 feet 6 inches. Oh, she is upset. She is upset. The winner from last year, Carolyn Leibel. It's Leanne Dufreme from Quebec, and she's going to move into the final. What an upset. What an upset. Let's watch that again. No time at all. She had the arm down, and Carolyn Leibel is really broken up about that win. Desiree Grinwald, the Women's Open winner. She is on the right against Joan Shanky.
Do not move. Don't move.
On the left.
Ready?
Joan Shanky has been around for a long, long time from Wisconsin. Desiree Grenwald, very strong. Grenwald is a winner. Grenwald has defeated Joan Shanky, and she, too, will move into the final. Oh, boy, we've seen some real hard matches. Eddie Long now, the defending world champion light heavyweight winner. Danny Stone is his opponent. Long is on the right. And in the blue is Stone. Danny Stone trying to do a quick takedown right now, but Long is still hanging in there. Eddie Long from Illinois, 28 years old, 218 pounds. Only a pound difference between Stone from Alabama, and Stone would like to again win that championship, the world championship. Danny Stone having his hands more than full with Eddie Long of Illinois. Stone is 36 years of age, so he has 8 years more experience. He's the winner. Danny Stone, in blue, is the winner of the semifinal match. He'll go into the final. Another light heavyweight championship semifinal coming up. John Brezink Jr. His father is also an arm wrestler against Wes Atkinson, a steel contractor. Brezink is 21 years of age. Atkinson, 38, a wily old veteran. Both 6 feet tall. Atkinson from Texas, Brezink from Utah. And this could be a good Brezink. Very strong and very quick. Takes on Wes Atkinson, who's been at these matches through the years. He has a lot of experience and very strong, but Brezink makes short work of him. Stan Long is on the right. Bob Hopkins on the left. The heavyweight division. We've got Long, a beer truck driver, and Hopkins, a former professional football player. Very strong. And Hopkins makes short work of Stan Long, so Bob Hopkins will also move into the final. Boy, he didn't waste too much time in taking him down. The heavyweight championship semifinal between Richard Box. He is from Georgia, against Richard Darby. Richard Box on the right from Georgia, and I guess the tongue helps out. He's going against Richard Darby of London, and this is a good match. Look at that. Look at that. Richard Darby is not taking any back seat to Richard Box. Box, a cameraman, a heavyweight winner in previous matches, but Darby not too cowed by the reputation of Richard Box. And look at this. They're still going at it. Richard Darby hanging in there, holding his own against Richard Box. Box trying to get him down. Box trying to move into the finals against Bob Hopkins. Can he do it? Can Richard Darby upset him? And finally, Richard Box of Georgia takes Richard Darby of London, Ontario down. And we'll have the finals coming up in just a moment from the Wayne State Fair in Detroit, Michigan. For a lot of these arm wrestlers, the final, a chance to win themselves a World Arm Wrestling Championship. And that young lady is a girlfriend of this young man on the left, Paul Cecchini of Thorold, Ontario, the Canadian champion. You can see Lacouske trying to get into that same state. And there is Paul Cecchini's lady friend watching very intently. Paul Cecchini wants to win this in the worst way.
That's a warning.
And they have been warned. Now they don't want any break at all. Cecchini, of course, is studying strength and concentration. Paul Cecchini against Frank Lacouske. Cecchini, the Canadian champion, runner-up the last 2 years, says, this has got to be my year. This is the year I'm finally going to win. Paul Cecchini close to it. Can Cecchini just make it another inch or two? And he has Frank Lacouske. He has him. He is warned to keep his elbow in the pad, on the pad. Paul Cecchini has won it. Cecchini has won it. Paul Cecchini, the Canadian champion, has finally, after 2 years of trying against Dave Patton, won the World Featherweight Arm Wrestling Championship. Here is the man who beat Cecchini the last 2 years. He has moved up a class now. He is in the lightweight division against a pretty good guy, too, in Al Fischer. Oh, does Fischer mean business? Look at that luck, huh? He's not going to psych out Dave Patton, though. They've both been around here too long to let something like that intimidate them. But Dave Patton is trying to do something that hasn't been done too often. He's trying to win another championship in a stepped-up class. For 2 years, he was a featherweight champion. Now he's going for the lightweight championship. And Al Fischer will have something to say about that. Fischer, of course, the defending champion. He is a very expert arm wrestler, just like Dave Patton. If you're going to pick two people to get in a competition in a final, this would have to be a pair. Dave Patton, very intent against his opponent, Al Fischer. They're not going to give a quarter. They're not asking. All right. They're just ready to go, and there's Dave Patton trying to get Fischer down very quickly, but he's in a real arm wrestling match right now. Al Fischer hanging in there. Patton trying to roll it over a bit. No, Fischer's not going to have anything to do with that. And Patton still with a bit of an advantage. As you can see, the thing, looks like Al Fischer's in trouble. You can see the muscle standing out there. And there's Dave Patton winning it, defeating Al Fischer, the defending champion. And Patton has done something that very few others have done. He has stepped up a class. There's his mother who follows him around at all these competitions. She is happy for him. And there's a good idea of the technique that Dave Patton has used to win the lightweight championship of the world. And he is extremely happy. Here's a man who perhaps personifies everything there is about arm wrestling. I have never seen Johnny Walker lose a match, nor have I heard anyone mentioning a loss by Johnny Walker. This man is just tremendous, extremely strong, 40 years of age. He is the winner of the middleweight championship. It goes back. He wins every division that he's ever been in and competed. Johnny Walker, just waiting. He lets his opponent perhaps have a bit of an advantage, but not this time. Johnny Walker, much to the surprise of no one, has repeated as the middleweight champion of the world. Johnny Walker, just a tremendous competitor, very strong, very long on technique. Just watch this. Sometimes he will toy with his opponent. This time he decided he was going to get rid of Steve Cox in a hurry, and he did exactly that. Steve Cox, the loser to Johnny Walker. No surprise at all. Okay, more finals coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. In the white and blue is Christine Jaworski against Sherry Fiban. Fiban, of course, a former champion in this division. And Christine Jaworski is a defending world champion and a reigning Canadian champion. She's from Sudbury, a 22-year-old sales manager. And Sherry Fiban, of course, is an entertainer as well as an arm wrestler. So this one has to be a real great one because they've got two of the best in there right now. Christine Jaworski says, I want to win this year. I want to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. And she is ready for this, and she has worked very hard. Christine Jaworski trying to get Sherry Fiban down. Jaworski is trying to roll it over the top, not having too much luck as Sherry Fiban is still hanging in there. Fiban very strong. Jaworski very strong, too. We've got a couple of very experienced women arm wrestlers in there at the present time. She is not that far from winning this championship again. Christine Jaworski trying to hang on, but Fiban still very much in this, even though it appears that Jaworski has the upper hand at the present time. Jaworski trying to roll it over the top, not having too much luck against Sherry Fiban. Fiban, one of the former champions, of course, against Jaworski, who is the defending champion, wants to, again, take that title back to Canada. Christine Jaworski still having a great deal of difficulty in putting away Sherry Fiban. Looks like Fiban may be getting a little stronger at this point, maybe taking the advantage away from Jaworski. Fiban looks like she has it now, and she does. Sherry Fiban of Michigan has defeated the reigning champion, Christine Jaworski of Sudbury, who was trying to make it 2 in a row. It looked as if Jaworski had it at this point in the match. But watch Fiban. She suddenly goes over and down, and Jaworski is finished. I'm going to talk to Christine Jaworski and see what she has to say.
Wow.
Christine Jaworski, what happened?
Well, I got her into a top roll, and I was about an inch away from the pad, and I couldn't get on top of my arm. Couldn't get there. I was in the wrong position when I started on the pad. Usually we start to the left. I started to the right. Couldn't get behind my arm. Couldn't get on top of the table. Had her down to here, and my arm I just kept it there until I got numb, and I couldn't do anything.
Show me.
I would bring her down right down like this.
Yeah.
Get her all that way, and my arm, I couldn't get it on top like this.
Uh-huh.
I had to keep it. I couldn't get on top of my arm, this far from the pad.
A little disappointing?
It's disappointing for myself because I worked very hard for this, but I'll get her next year.
Okay, she's warned.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Being second best isn't that bad either.
No, it's not too bad.
Christine Jaworski, the runner-up in the women's lightweight division.
Thanks, Bill.
Jeez, well, that's one of the spoils, you know, doing a job like this. Desiree Grenwall in the white against Leanne Dufreme in the navy blue, and Leanne Dufreme is she has suddenly captured the imagination of this crowd here at the Main State Fair. She's from Quebec, just 18 years of age, against Desiree Grenwall, and Dufreme has come from nowhere. She is a reigning Canadian Women's Open champion, very strong girl, good technique too, and she made, they've broken, and they're going to start all over again. Leanne Dufreme told me prior to this match, she says, I want to win this in the worst way. I said, well, you're a rookie. She says, it doesn't matter. I want to win this championship, and I'm going to do it. And when you have that amount of dedication, then I'm not ruling out the possibility that Leanne Dufreme can win this thing. Dufreme, she does! She does! True to her word, Leanne Dufreme of Quebec has won the Women's Open Championship, her first try. And look at how she did it with so much relative ease. I think she just overpowered her opponent, Desiree Grenwall, who's been in many of these arm wrestling championships. Oh, that's great. John Brezink, and he is going for the light heavyweight championship. Brezink is in white against Dan Stone in blue. Stone is a 36-year-old landscaper. Brezink is only 21 years of age. His father has been an arm wrestler, so he's got a lot of the techniques and tips that have been thrown in by his dad, and he is very strong. And people were talking about John Brezink saying, hey, if anybody's going to win and any newcomer, this kid could do it. A relative newcomer, 21 years of age, John Brezink on the left. Stone has been around. Stone knows what to do when he gets in there. But I think this one could be a toss-up. Brezink on the left. Brezink looks as if Stone may be losing. No, Brezink takes him down. It looked as if they were going to break the hold, but Brezink took him down, and Brezink has been declared the light heavyweight champion of the world in arm wrestling. A very popular win for John Brezink Jr. Watch this. It looked as if Stone was going to break the grip. Then Brezink suddenly got him over, and bang, he adjusted the grip, and he took Danny Stone down, and Brezink is the winner. John Brezink Jr. You're going to see him for many, many championships to come. We're in the heavyweight championship final now. Richard Box against Bob Hopkins. Hopkins, looking at us as a former defensive lineman, pro football player, against Richard Box. Box, a cameraman from Georgia, both about the same size, 6'2", 6'1", but Hopkins is much heavier, something like 47 pounds heavier. That is going to be an advantage for Bob Hopkins, but Richard Box still hanging in there. Box, of course, has his tongue clenched between his teeth. May not be the exact technique to use in this, but it works for him. And it looks like Hopkins is going to do it. Hopkins has the advantage if he can hang in there. Richard Box is going to lose it as Bob Hopkins wins the heavyweight championship in arm wrestling in the world.